We're just going to have to forego the intro because it won't go. Welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your Saudi Prince hosts. Today is November 16th, 2017.
Hello.
If we wear...
I'm Saudi Prince.
I'm
stuck in the 80s.
Incognito glasses.
Yes.
You will not know that we are Saudi princes.
Yes. I have been arrested by some upstart.
Right.
I've been put in fancy hotel.
Yep.
And now they demand of me over 70% of my money.
Yep.
I, as a particular Saudi prince, own part of the Four Seasons hotel chain along with Bill Gates. I also own the top 5 floors of Mandalay Bay.
Wow.
I know. I'm pretty awesome.
That's impressive.
Yes. So, Saudi Arabia just introduced a 70% wealth tax. There's a huge crackdown. Arresting people right and left. All their billionaires, they're running low on money, running low on the Benjamins, right?
That good old petrodollar.
Yes, as we noted, this is Zero Hedge.
The inside joke is...
It's
not
Saudi
an inside
prince?
joke. It's true. We are Saudi princes.
I am a Saudi prince.
Maybe pull up a picture of a Saudi prince that has the sunglasses on. Why? Here's
my battery is running low.
Oh,
am I not plugged in?
That happened to a Saudi prince.
No.
Wow.
I know.
I'll help you.
It's Osama bin Tal. Not this guy. Let's see. I get all their names mixed up. I think it's this one, billionaire Saudi Prince Alweed bin Talal. Let me get you a couple pictures of him. He's the one who owns the Four Seasons and part of Mandalay Bay. Al Waid bin Talal.
That's good. You pronounced that really well.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
This dude right here, he's always walking around with the sunglasses.
Maybe he has vision issues. Like maybe he just
this
needs
is him
sunglasses
with his little young wife. He reminds me of.
I think he has like issues.
Wherever he goes, he's like Mr. Cool Man, and he just cracks me up.
I like Redneck Survivors. Besides, their future is bright.
Oh my gosh, that was a really good joke.
That's a good one.
So I'm going to do the rest of this with my sunglasses on.
Why do they wear picnic tablecloths on their head?
That's a good question.
Because to keep the ants away.
Yes. You know what? I think
crumbs, they can always take it off and put it on the floor and have a picnic.
But I think that kind of cloth attracts the ants. You always see it with the ants on it.
That's true.
Wouldn't it be so cute, though, if they were to take... Because I have fabric that looks like that actually has the ants already printed on it.
Yep, you do.
If they wore that with the ants on their head.
All right, so after the crown prince's purge of potential rivals within Saudi Arabia's sprawling ruling family, while the dozens of arrests were made under the pretext of an anti-corruption crackdown, Mohammed bin Salman's ulterior motive was something else entirely.
They sell that fabric's right inside that drawer.
What do you mean?
The ant fabric's right inside the drawer. Right that drawer. You're right there. No, the desk drawer.
Why? Ah! This is
Put it on your head.
Oh! Wait a minute. This is excellent. Why didn't we start with this? Like, I need to make like a... It's not enough. This is a doggy. It's Jasper's little flag.
That'd be so awesome.
I don't know how to
make
make
get
it.
some more from down. That's like, cool. Oh my gosh. That is so awesome.
I'm like a Saudi prince now.
You are. Leave it.
Oh my gosh.
Leave
I need
it.
a rope around.
You do need a rope.
So cool. I know why they do this. Because I feel awesome.
Here. I think we might have a black rope. You know
but
what?
It needs to be a white rope.
Oh,
hang on. I got it. Maybe.
No, that's not going to work.
It might work.
We have to put a couple together. I'll let you work on that.
All right.
So, Mohammed bin Salman, the crown prince right now, who's going to be taking over for his daddy, He wants to replenish the kingdom's depleted foreign reserves, which have been hammered for the past 3 years by low oil prices, with some estimating that current purge could potentially bring in $800 billion. Again,
Wow.
I'm not going to be able to afford my sunglasses anymore.
No.
Furthermore, the geopolitical turmoil unleashed by the unprecedented crackdown helped push oil prices higher, creating a benefit for both the kingdom's ruler. And so basically, unrest equals more money for them.
Right.
This is great. You're doing a good job. That's
Thank
cool.
you.
Yeah. Just twist it around. There you go.
Got it.
There you go. It's something like that. It's close.
I think it's really close.
So, and the latest confirmation that the crackdown was all about cash, the Financial Times reports today that the Saudi government has offered the new occupants of the Riyadh Ritz-Carlton a way out. I'm hanging out in the Ritz-Carlton with my sunglasses. The only way out for me, it's going to cost me, in some cases, as much as 70% of my money.
That's a lot of money.
Saudi authorities are negotiating settlements with princes and businessmen held over allegations of corruption, offering deals for the detainees to pay for their freedom. People briefed on the discussions say, in some cases, the government is seeking to appropriate as much as 70% of the suspects' wealth. Two of the people said in a bid to channel hundreds of billions of dollars into depleted state coffers. The arrangements, which have already seen some assets and funds handed over to the state, provide an insight into the strategy behind Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's dramatic corruption purge. Now, what's also interesting is that, meet the Saudi prince. No, you're not actually. You're gonna have to give it away.
There's our black. I thought they were white.
Yeah.
The little bands around their tablecloths.
This particular prince who's doing all the craziness, he's getting ready to take over because his daddy, the Saudi Arabia king, is to step down and hand over the crown to his 32-year-old son after the prince rounded up the Saudi royals in corruption arrests and have them sleep on bare mattresses in a luxury hotel, which is hilarious.
Oh,
to me.
yeah, that's real
They're
punishment.
in the Ritz-Carlton, but they're sleeping on luxury mattresses. So you've got hundreds detained here. Royals, ministers, officials, and the country's richest oligarchs, including the Prince Alawed bin Talal, who I am representing today for you. The billionaire, because he is the billionist of the billionaires, and so I figured I'd want to be the billionist of the most billionaires. Right.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
That's a lofty
the
goal.
coolest of the cool. Right, man?
I think you're achieving it.
All right. Walid Al-Ibrahim, the founder of the Middle East Broadcasting Center, which owns Al Abriya, the Saudi satellite television channel, and Burke bin Laden, seriously, chairman of the Saudi bin Laden construction group, and other of...
It's just a convenient name.
No, don't worry. He's the brother, literally, of the brother of Osama bin Laden.
Well, that's just convenient then, isn't it?
Additionally, as we reported, the crackdown sent members of the country's wealthy upper crust scrambling to liquidate their holdings and move their cash offshore, where they might have a better chance of keeping it away from the Saudi government. So this is me, Prince Alawid. I make the most of the monies. I'm almost worth
Alawali.
20 billion.
That's what it is. Alawali.
Alawalid. Unsurprisingly, the Saudi offer is working. Some of the suspects, most of whom have been rounded up in the Ritz-Carlton Hotel since last week, are keen to secure their release by signing over cash because it's just make-believe anyways, right? So they're making settlements. They're coughing up the cash. Settlements for the royals will also include pledges of loyalty. As they keep calling,
I think it's a good idea to pledge your loyalty in this instance.
As Mohammed bin Salim, I believe, prepares himself to take the Saudi throne through his father, King Salman, has vigorously denied these rumors, but it's coming out. Dude, he's going.
Otto says this sort of means war with Iran real soon. Israel and Saudi Arabia are officially buddies now. The Israeli defense chief just gave a speech in Riyadh. Yeah.
That would be
about how they are real pals.
Yeah, so thanks, Otto, for pointing that out. That's a thing now. Israel is actually saying that it's going to share intel with Saudi Arabia about Iran. Now, here's the thing. Not everything is black and white. Right now, everything's a little bit gray for me with my sunglasses on.
Yes.
So when we're looking in the Middle East, Israel has one goal. In my opinion, it's to stay alive. Israel knows that Iran seeks its utter destruction.
Correct. Along with pretty much everyone else.
Well, Saudi Arabia doesn't at this point.
All right.
So they're teaming up with Saudi Arabia, even though they're mortal enemies, and they actually do not even fly into each other's countries. Did you know that? No flights go into Jerusalem from Saudi Arabia, and vice versa. So if you want to go from Saudi Arabia to Israel, you've got to go to, like, I don't know, maybe even Iran, which is crazy. So anyways, I'm going to stop being Alaweed for a moment so I can see a little better. All right, but I do like my accent. Do you like it?
We like the accent. Do we have to take off the glasses?
No, you can keep them on. So the King of Saudi Arabia plans to step down and announce his son as successor next week. The move is seen as a final step in the 32-year-old Prince Mohammed bin Salman's power grab, which began earlier this month with all the arrests and including their tablecloths and their picnic cloths on their heads.
Is that really his head on that? Because it looks like a meme. Like, it looks like his head's hanging kind of low.
No, that's him.
That's really him.
He's just getting old, man. This is them on their bare mattresses on the floor.
Oh, that's punishment. No, they're on the floor. They have like a little foamy. And they have nice blankies.
Nice blankies.
I need a...
MBS cannot confront Hezbollah in Lebanon without Israel. So MBS plan is to start the fire in Lebanon. It's just a bunch of fire. It's not a bunch of war. They want to start a bunch of war. They want to crush Hezbollah, the Lebanese militia supported by Iran. So they want to work together. Oh, yes. Girlfriend, boyfriend, you got going on.
I need a cloak to really...
Mm-hmm. So I really, Donald Trump is saying that he's got great confidence in King Solomon, and I really believe that he is being, arm twisted by Israel.
That's not a phrase, but we'll go with it. Arm twisted.
Yeah. So you've got just a bunch of crazy Middle East unrest. So while we're talking about this, while we're in the Middle East and talking about
But now we're
unrest,
done with the Saudi princes.
Yeah, we can be done.
Okay.
So we're going to Libya here. Obviously, Libya's in Africa. But we have Libya's slave auctions and African genocide, what Hillary knew. Remember the 7 countries in 5 years? Libya was on that list. Iran is next. The last one, it was Syria and Iran were the last 2 countries on the list. But Libya, this is back in the news. A new CNN investigation has uncovered a network of slave markets operating in warehouses in various cities across Libya 6 years after the NATO-led intervention in the country toppled the government of Muammar Gaddafi in support of U.S. and UK-backed rebels. And not only did CNN confirm the presence of slave auctions where human beings are being sold for as little as $400 in liberated Libya, but CNN's crew was actually able to film a live auction in progress.
Oh my gosh.
So here is the exclusive report.
Excuse me, like goosebumps. This is awful.
And we're going to take a second and,
A man addressing an unseen crowd. Big strong boys for farm work, he says. 400. 700. 700. 800. The numbers roll in. These men are sold for 1,200 Libyan pounds, $400 apiece. You are watching an auction of human beings. Another man, claiming to be a buyer. Off camera, someone asks, what happened to the ones from Niger? Sold off, he's told. CNN was sent this footage by contact. After months of working, we were able to verify the authenticity of what you see here. We decided to travel to Libya to try and see for ourselves. We're now in Tripoli and we're starting to get a little bit more of a sense of how this all works. Our contacts are telling us that there are 1 to 2 of these auctions every month and that there is one happening in the next few hours. So we're going to head out of town and see if we can get some sort of access to it. For the safety of our contacts, we have agreed not to divulge the location of this auction, but the town we're driving to isn't the only one. Night falls. We travel through nondescript suburban neighborhoods, pretending to look for a missing person. Eventually, we stop outside a house like any other. Adjust our secret cameras and wait. Finally, it's time to move. We're ushered into one of 2 auctions happening on this same night. Crouched at the back of the yard, a floodlight obscuring much of the scene. One by one, men are brought out as the bidding begins. 400, 500, 550, 600, 650, 700. Very quickly, it's over. We ask if we can speak to the men. The auctioneer, seen here, refuses. We ask again if we can speak to them, if we can help them. No, he says. The auction's over, we're told. And we're asked to leave. That was over very quickly. We walked in, and as soon as we walked in, the men started covering their faces. But they clearly wanted to finish what they were doing, and they kept bringing out what they kept referring to in Arabic as al-budaa, the merchandise. All in all, they admitted to us that there were 12 Nigerians that were sold in front of us. And I honestly don't know what to say. That was probably one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen.
If they don't want to take us to Italy, let us take us to our various countries.
These men are migrants with dreams of being smuggled to Europe by sea.
Excuse me, can I speak Italy?
We are going inside. Have a seat in your place. Have a seat in your place.
They come in their thousands from Niger, Mali, Nigeria, Ghana. It's hard to believe that these are the lucky ones, rescued from warehouses like the one in which we witnessed the auction. They're sold if those warehouses become overcrowded or if they run out of money to pay their smugglers. Of these rescued men, so many here say they were held against their will. It doesn't take us long to find victory.
Just take us home.
No food, no chicken, water.
Just take us home. We want to go. No food, no water, nothing.
Victory was a slave. We know that some people are being sold.
Yes.
Some people are being sold. Is this something you've heard about? Can you tell us about that?
Sure.
Tell us.
I was sold.
What happened?
On my way coming, I was sold. Merciless beating. If you look at most of the people here, if you check their body, you see the mark. They're beating with electric. Even your boot, or they took something like a sharp object. Understand? Most of them lost their life there. I was there. The person who came to buy me give the man money. They take me out home. So the money was not even much.
Other migrants now start to come forward with their stories.
They took people to work by force. Even when we are at the seaside, when we are working the work, they will be beating you when you are working the work. I'm doing your work. They will be maltreating us. Higher, 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 higher.
But I promise you, I will take care of your husband and the others.
Anas al-Azabi is the supervisor here. With no international support, it's his job to look after the captured migrants until they can be deported. He says every day brings fresh heartbreak.
It's okay. I'm suffering for them. I am suffering for them. What I have seen here daily, believe me, make me really feel pain for them. They come and every story is a special case. There was...
So we were talking about this earlier today, weren't we? We were talking about the hypocrisy of people who, you know, even my stuff here go ahead.
I'll get to Otto's comment because I think it's going to segue into what you're about to say. Otto says, what is the difference between these guys getting sold as slaves, trying to be smuggled, and Mexicans hopping the fence to mow the lawn, clean the toilet, and make Chinese food for a pittance?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Everything that we wear, everything that we have, books that most of the things that we touch throughout the day.
Except for Maia's homemade products that you can get at ME Healthy Products.
Well, and I don't want to
Facebook.
put down her products. I understand, but I'm guessing possibly that your containers were made in another country.
Right. Meaning none of us can escape
We
it.
can't escape slavery.
Right.
We can't escape it. And what has happened in America is we have a luxury of white and black supremacy and all this craziness going on that hides. It is a smokescreen for the people who are really truly being abused. And when we see this slavery happening, modern day slavery, this is just a tiny piece of people being sold. People who are make 25 cents in Myanmar or the Philippines or Thailand or things like that.
But these people were probably sold by other black people.
I really want you to point that out because this is black people. Is this black supremacy on blacks? And tell them what you said. It's not about color. It's about
power.
Power.
Historically, there have been slaves since the beginning of time. Whenever you think that time started, I use a biblical standpoint. There have been slaves since the beginning of time.
Same ethnicities.
And they have been of all ethnicities.
Right.
It doesn't matter. The slavery that happened, that we all associate with slavery in modern Western civilization, was black people selling black people to white people.
And other black people in America, because blacks owned slaves here in America.
It wasn't, and there was a lot of white slavery that went on too. It's just not talked about. It has absolutely nothing to do with the color of skin or them thinking that these people were a lesser people.
Right.
The Native Americans here also owned other Native Americans as slaves.
Right.
They didn't view them as a lesser people.
Lesser race.
Excuse me, a lesser race. They just realized, I have the power to keep you as a slave, and so I will. So the actual lesser race in these instances are the slave owners that have had to debase their minds to think that they can own another human being. But historically, when we look at slavery from the beginning of time, it's not been ever about the color of skin. It's always been about men of power taking advantage of men that they could have in their power. And the propaganda of trying to say that the black people were a lesser race was something that was pushed forward by these evil men that didn't even think that, okay? But they had to sell their cause to a normal thinking group of people. Well, they're just a lesser race, and that's why it's okay for us to keep them as slaves. But they didn't think that. They didn't think it. They just thought that they were lesser, not because of the color of their skin, but because they were able to be caught and controlled and captured.
So when we're talking about this specific incident, when Hillary went in to overthrow Libya, we saw he died. She was backing these Islamists, these Libyan Islamists who they're led by a strict interpretation of the Quran, in which you can buy and sell slaves.
Exactly.
So Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State and was personally briefed and warned on the fact that when these Islamist rebels that the NATO empowered, that they would, the first people who would fall victim would be the black and migrant population.
Right.
There was a dangerous myth of Gaddafi's African mercenaries. Among the foremost of these early critics at the time, Maximilien Forte, associate professor at Montreal's Concordia University, published a 2012 book which exhaustively documented racially motivated crimes which came early and often during the armed uprising. His book, Slouching Towards Sirte, NATO's War on Libya and Africa, contains essential summary context, laying out the role that international media played in 2011 and after, including CNN itself, in fueling the xenophobic campaign to scapegoat Libya's over 1 million strong black population as pro-Gaddafi mercenaries. So this was Hillary Hillary Clinton xenophobically saying that the black people were pro-Gaddafi, right?
Right.
So racial fear and xenophobia were at the very crux of the first public calls for Western military intervention and were the basis for the first utterance of the need for a no-fly zone. The myth of the African mercenary was useful for the Libyan opposition until you have this Islamist insurgent. And Patrick Cockburn explained the insurgents' explanation for the large pro-Gaddafi forces was that they were all mercenaries, mostly from Black Africa, whose only motive was money. I'm going to link to this, and this is kind of a deep situation when we talk about Libya, when we talk about the genocide. There's even videos here of Libyan rebels caging Black Africans, and you have right here Hillary Clinton with her Arab friends, the less black, less brown people.
Yeah.
So she is incredibly racist.
Of course she is.
And she hates black people.
You have to be
Hates
racist
them.
to talk about, to be a white person and say white people have white privilege.
So, and the answer lies, what did Hillary know? The answer lies in March 27, 2011, an intelligence brief on Libya published by WikiLeaks. The brief, which was made public in 2015 as part of a large batch of Hillary emails released by the State Department, was sent by a longtime close advisor to the Clinton family and Hillary's personal intelligence gatherer, Sidney Blumenthal, and contains clear reference to rebels summarily executing all foreign mercenaries. This is black ethnic genocide.
Wow.
Okay? Which had already become the common euphemism for black Libyans then being targeted by the U.S.-supported rebels. So when we're talking about white supremacy, you have Hillary Clinton going to Africa to literally wipe out black people. That is the
Exactly.
simple way to
very
put
true.
this.
Very true.
Citing a rebel commander source speaking in strict confidence, Blumenthal reports to Hillary, under attack from Allied air and naval forces, the Libyan army troops have begun to desert to the rebel side in increasing numbers. The rebels are making an effort to greet these troops as fellow Libyans in an effort to encourage additional directions. Source comment. Speaking in strict confidence, one rebel commander stated that his troops continue to summarily execute all foreign mercenaries captured in the fighting. So here's this. I want you guys, if this is something that you're interested in and something that you want to champion, I can't really go into it because we want to cover a lot of things tonight.
Right.
But just know when we talk about slavery, it's not a black issue, it's not a white issue, and that if people who are calling other people white supremacists, they either are ignorant or they're at the top who are
actually white supremacists
who are killing black people over.
Let me get to a couple of the comments while you set up what you have next. Eric Mathis says, in the horse and buggy days, they would grow a lot of their own food and their own meat. Families work together and Christians work together. That's how it's supposed to be. You don't actually take someone as your slave to make them do the things that you want them to do. Tawana Lynn says, we are all slaves or test people. We are test people. They're testing their chemicals out on us. They're putting the fluoride in the water. Gary says, these Black Lives don't matter to BLM. Black Lives Matter. Absolutely true. This is the cause that they should be championing, and not their little cause here. Let's see. Mark H says, they say the pyramids were built with slaves. Muslims used to raid white Christians and they sold them as slaves. Very well said. Otto says, illegal aliens work for Mexican American contractors that remove and replace cemented in tile for 99 cents a square foot. I charge $12 to remove and replace ceramic. It can't be competed with. And I want to go back to Tawana's comment that says that we are all slaves. And that's the thing. It doesn't matter whether you're the Mexican here or here in America and you're an American. We are all slaves to this system. Maia can't make a product and put it in anything without using like Chinese backed products or something like that. It would be impossible. And we do it too here at Resistance Chicks. Everything. This hat's probably made in China.
We try to actually buy American
but
when we can.
When we can. But most of the time, for us, I'm going to be honest, it often comes down to cost. Because it literally can't be competed with. So
right. So I want to move on to the censorship. Now, Michelle and I, we were looking at our views. We have seen that again.
Dang, it's so
we
bad.
are being put in a basement again. Our live
Not only
feed,
that.
Go ahead.
Jinx. Not only are we being put in a basement like we were previously, just being put in a basement from new viewers finding us, but we're being put in a basement where even you guys can't find us. There are a lot of our subscribers that aren't getting the notifications. Our videos aren't coming in their suggested watch videos. And I do know for a fact that we are losing subscribers from YouTube. Literally, every time we gain an influx of subscribers, we lose some. And then I get notices from people months later. They're like, I haven't heard from you guys. I didn't even think you guys were doing anything. I come back to your channel and I find that I'm not even subscribed anymore.
And anytime we have a video that hits off, like we told you guys with our Charlottesville video, it went up. It almost hit 160,000 and then
it stopped.
Just stops.
Same thing with
the shooter was hit. It was going viral. It had 25,000 views and then it just... we got put in the bottom, so people can't find it again.
Right.
I'm not worried about us. Our message is going to get where God wants us to go.
Exactly. But it is an example.
I wanted to give you an
personal
example.
Nature where we can tell you this is certainly happening.
Exactly. So on Twitter, you guys might not know, but there is something called like a little blue check mark. This guy does not have it. I can show it to you. If you go to Twitter... people who are verified, they have a little, like Diamond and Silk, they've been verified. And what that was supposed to mean was that if you're kind of a celebrity of some sorts or you're in the media, somebody couldn't take your name.
Right.
And this is who this person is.
They refused to verify Julian Assange.
They refused to verify Julian Assange. But what they're now doing is instead of just verifying, okay, you are your person, and they wait till you get a certain amount of followers because they don't have the time to verify every single person.
Sure, that makes sense.
So like, if you're a rock star or something like that, you don't have a bunch of Taylor Swifts out there, right? So Twitter has gone around taking the little blue check mark away from people.
Right.
Like Tommy Robinson, Laura Loomer. Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is also Richard Spencer, who is the KKK guy. So they put them in their little group.
Here's the thing. The blue check mark of verification, and you were talking about this earlier when we were discussing it, doesn't have anything to do with Twitter backing and supporting anyone.
Right.
So why would you all of a sudden say, well, now we don't think that you are Laura Loomer?
Right.
That doesn't matter. Ban them from Twitter. If you think if that's what Twitter wants to do, whatever, we can cover that in a separate issue. But the fact that they're taking away their verification makes zero sense. You've already been verified.
If Richard Spencer is tweeting things out,
I want to know that it's the real Richard Spencer.
Exactly. I want to know who that KKK is. Otherwise, that's how fake news spreads.
Correct.
And that's their idea. This person says there should only be one criteria for obtaining a blue check mark. The account is actually controlled by the name of that account. The fact that @Jack has turned it into a seal of approval means I have no interest in obtaining one. Meaning, now Twitter has to approve of your messaging.
That's insanity.
And how many Keith Olbermann and CNN people tweet out Donald Trump is a white supremacist and all these things. Now I want to move on to from Twitter here because go on all day. Well, you know what? I'm not done with Twitter. Let's see. Here we go. Tommy Robinson, Laura Loomer, other conservative accounts stripped of Twitter verification. Several popular conservative Twitter accounts, including anti-Islam activist Tommy Robinson and Laura Loomer, have been given, their verification taken away. It says, we're writing to let you know that the verified badge associated with your account, Tommy Robinson, will be permanently removed.
Wow.
We're doing so after determining that your account does not comply with our guidelines. The truth is now hate speech, Tommy Robinson. Same thing to Laura Loomer. Twitter just emailed me to let me know they're removing my verified badge. And this is a wife with a purpose. Now, she's a little alt-right. You know what? But she is who she is. You know what I mean? Let's know who she is. So there's ways you can lose your verification. Intentionally misleading people on Twitter by changing one's display name or bio, promoting hate or violence, inciting or engaging in harassment of others, violence or dangerous behavior, self-harm or suicide. None of this is happening by these people.
Yes, Patriot Gallery.
I just want to change one word. They said, you don't agree with our political guidelines. They should say, our guidelines. You should say our political views.
Right.
That's exactly what it should say.
With our political views, so you no longer get a verification.
Right.
This person, John Levine, says, This mistake from day one has been to politicize the verification process. I was the first to place with people like Milo and Assange.
Mark says that Clint Eastwood was banned from Twitter.
Was he?
I did not hear about that. Interesting, if it's true.
So it should be about, verifying people. Now, one of our viewers, Justin Hughes, a.k.a. Worth a Look, has let us know that he was banned.
No, it's so great though, actually.
From Facebook for 3 days.
He sends me links all the time. A lot of the stuff that we cover from the UK, I don't know, he sends me links from all over the place, come from him. So you guys need to go subscribe to his channel. Watch it there. She's having issues. He does a montages on Nigel. He's done one on Tucker Carlson. Fantastic. Anyway, subscribe to his channel. Worth a look. He's a great moderator. But anyway, he sends us stuff all the time. And usually our conversation consists of food. If we're going to have conversation, it's not really so much how's your day been, it's what did you eat today. And so I'm kind of missing talking about my food with Mr. Hughes because he's been banned from Facebook for 3 days. Timeout, which actually it's so great because I can send all of my food stuff to him. He just can't send any to me. But no, on a serious note, seriously, I forget what it was. Justin, what did you say exactly? It was something about, you said trannies, what? I can't say trannies and homosexuals or something.
No, he said drag queens.
Drag queens, that's what it was. Tranny and drag queens. And
it was on an article saying you can't call transgendered trannies or drag queens anymore.
And so he just literally said, what? I can't call them trannies or drag queens. And then all of a sudden, boom, for 3 days, he is muted from Facebook altogether. I know Britt Baza recently, I don't think he's here tonight. He's one of another UK viewer was banned for 3 days as well. I don't remember what he did. But Facebook is really taking this banning thing really serious.
So Caitlin Johnstone, our favorite lefty, she put Zero Head shared her article. She says, I've been banned from Facebook for sharing an article about false flags. Now, they went back in history. This has been a while ago. Mm-hmm. She has a personal Facebook account which has 5,000 friends and an additional 5,000 plus followers, because you can follow somebody if you're not friends with them now.
Right.
And then she has a page. Well, her page hasn't been blocked yet, but her personal Facebook page was. The reason given for this ban by the little pop-up boxes when she logged in was that a couple months ago, she shared an article about admitted false flags operations perpetrated by governments around the world with hyperlinks to truthful admitted false flags.
And
I don't know what happened that made Facebook's system decide to crack down on me all of a sudden, but I do know I've been a bit naughtier than usual in the last couple pieces. The article I got Banhammer for sharing is titled, "For Those Who Don't Believe in Conspiracies, Here Are 58 Admitted False Flag Attacks." How is that against any Facebook standards? According to the site's ticker, it has 50,000 views or shares. It's laden with hyperlinks for further reading and lists only incidences of false flag operations that insiders are on the record as having admitted to themselves. It's a good compilation of important information. People should be allowed to share it. The notifications say I can permanently be banned if she continues to posting that sort of material. She's been there since 2007. And so in a corporatist system of government, corporate censorship is state censorship. This is fascism. I want to see the social justice warriors marching on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube saying, down with the fascists, down with the fascists. This is real. This is real fascism. This is government censorship because, as we told you before, like Al Sharpton and people in the Senate and the Congress are calling on Facebook and Twitter to censor fake news, and it's already happening in Germany. We've been told by a viewer who says, I'm in Germany, I can't comment on your video.
Right. Speaking of Germany, you guys also need to go on VidMe and subscribe to one of our favorite channels, So What? He did a video the other day that covered Gab. I know that Gab is kind of a good alternative. However, Gab has this kind of warning to the German viewers, because Gab understands that these Germans can go to jail for the things that they may say that may be hate speech. So it's not a matter of getting banned from Gab or something like that. And so they're like, you know what? If you're in Germany, though, there's like a clause. Maybe you should just obey your local laws. Even though Gab is supposed to be this big, open, say whatever you want.
Perfect language.
Oh, so what has a little bit of graphic language. It's not exactly family friendly, but his content is really great.
So listen to this. In a recent Senate Judiciary Committee hearing, plutocrat-sponsored senators spoke with top legal and security officials for Facebook, Twitter, and Google in a very disturbing way about the need to silence dissenting voices, which we were talking to you guys about. Al Franken was part of that. Democratic Senator Mazi Hirono of Hawaii demanded that the companies adopt a mission statement declaring their commitment to prevent the fomenting of discord.
Wow.
What does that even mean?
I'm not sure.
A former FBI agent, Clint Watts, kicked it up a little further, saying, civil wars don't start with gunshots, they start with words. America's war with itself has already begun. We must all act now on the social media battlefield to quell information rebellions. Information rebellions that can quickly lead to violent confrontations and easily transform us into the divided states of America. Stopping the false information artillery barrage landing on social media users comes only when those outlets distributing bogus stories are silenced. Silence the guns and the barrage will end. So this is like communist China. This was on the Senate floor. Officials were speaking about the need to censor social media to prevent people from sharing dissenting ideas on the Senate floor.
Dissenting ideas.
What's interesting, I am going to share a quote from the World Socialist website. Okay? Because I believe that everybody has a right to speak.
Okay.
That such a statement could be made in a congressional hearing entirely without objection is an expression of the terminal decay of the American democracy. There is no faction of the ruling class that maintains any commitment to the basic democratic rights. None of the Democrats in the committee raised any of the constitutional issues involved in asking massive technology companies to censor political speech on the internet. Only one Republican raised concerns over censorship, but only to allege that Google had a liberal bias. And she says, I'll admit right now that this really scares me. Even the optimists, I've been reassuring my readers that the corporatocracy would never risk taking off the black hole sun mask of corporate cheerfulness and move into regular overt totalitarianism. I didn't say that right.
No, you did.
I've contended that they must remain covert in order to keep to successfully manufacture consent. But here we are, through a studious application of PSYOPs, they have their censorship and they have their consent. Remember in the book Fahrenheit 451, the public wasn't unhappy about the book burnings. They cheered them, and that's what we have now. The herd is mindlessly clapping their approval at censorship and even volunteering to report naughty behavior like good little hall monitors, or I say Nazis, for the oligarchy. I'm sure that even some of my close friends and family will silently approve of my banning and will meet my distress with the pursed lips of a church lady secretly pleased at my comeuppance. She said she tried joining Gab when she saw this coming, but it's really alt-righty there, and the energy is just gross. Finding a new social media outlet might not even matter anyway, since these creeps just target any place people gather in large numbers. I don't know. I always freak out a bit when the eye of corporate censorship focus on me. I've recently been told by a number of people that they've been banned for sharing my articles, and now it's hitting me. She says, I'm babbling. This is weird. I just really, really don't want humanity to become what these people are trying to turn it into. You know, help me make some noise about this stuff, please. Manipulators can't do their job when there's a big spotlight pointed on them. And this is where the right and left have to come together, because we can fight over policies and FDR's New Deal.
Right.
If we have the ability to say what we need to say. And good, honest, thinking people will have the same goals, which is what the guy was talking about.
I agree.
We want people who are hungry to be fed.
Right.
We want children to be clothed and have a home and loving parents.
Right.
So we can talk about, we think that Christianity is the best way, and the free market and liberty. Mm-hmm. And some people think social constructs and socialism is their way. But as good, loving people, we can come together and say, you need to be able to tell us your view.
Right.
And I need to tell you my view. And if we care about each other enough, we will cross on Monsanto or craziness like that.
Exactly.
We will cross paths, right? And this is one area where we're going to cross paths. And this is disturbing in a number of ways.
So Robin Poe says that, I'm assuming it's a female, I didn't see the little bubble, that she knows the way around their censorship. Well, Robin, you may send me your information so that we can figure out how to get around the censorship. But maybe you just mean in the search boxes and stuff like that, which is also a big deal. But not everybody knows how to get around the censorship. So, Gorka.
Yeah, so when we're talking about the Clintons, we're talking about Fusion GPS, I want to bring up a couple more
things. Hang on, Patriot Gallery is coming.
You're going to mention that filthy guy who was in Congress who has a sexual problem?
We already did Patriot.
That's our mother for the new viewers that are
Al
here.
Franken was behind the corporate censorship and the Google things.
Yes.
Abuse of power if she thinks that having the last name Clinton means that she's above the law.
Yes, she does think
isn't.
that.
We have a clear case here of pay for play. Not only do we know the FBI was investigating the Russian corruption in America, bribing people involved with the deal for uranium, we know that she was the chairman of the committee that had to approve that sale, and at the same time that she had to approve the sale of 20% of our uranium to Russia, Steve, to Russia, her foundation received $145 million, and her husband received $500,000 for one speech that he gave from the same people that were buying the uranium.
Dr. Gorka, we just had on the confidential informant for the FBI's attorney, and she said that he was telling his FBI handlers who he was bribing and stuff like that, and the FBI told him that the director of the FBI knew about it, and so did the President of the United States before this deal went through.
Not only that, Steve, the then Attorney General, Obama's Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, threatened, we have the email, threatened that FBI informant that if you don't shut up, if you don't keep quiet about everything you know, we will put you in prison. She threatened him. That's how out of control the last administration and the Clinton crime cartel was, and now we need to have it investigated to the absolute ends of this trail.
Dr. Gorka, one of the co-founders of Fusion GPS, his name is Glenn Simpson. He had a 7-hour closed-door session before the House Intel Committee, and he told them he never verified what was in that dirty dossier before he peddled it to reporters. Your thoughts?
Yeah, this is the story that just keeps on giving. So we've got this massive national security scandal, probably the biggest one since the end of the Cold War. 20% of our uranium sold to the Russians with Clinton's acquiescence. And now we've got this dodgy dossier. We now know that this dossier was built upon Russian propaganda, fake sources. It was used to besmirch the Trump campaign. And here's the big thing, Ainsley, that dossier was also paid for by the FBI. The Clinton campaign, the DNC, paid $12 million for it. And then Robert Mueller briefs it to President Trump, leaks that briefing to his buddies in the media.
You mean James Comey?
Sorry, James Comey briefs that to the president, leaks the briefing. So what happens? We get a special counsel, his buddy, Robert Mueller, to investigate the president for collusion. This is like something out of a Tom Clancy novel, but it isn't. It's real life and it's corruption.
We got to see this dossier and where it's going. There's a book coming out. Chris Steele says he says it'll show that 70 to 90% of what's in the dossier is true. He said he was shocked by what is in it. But Mike Conaway said yesterday in the Glenn Simpson closed-door testimony that there were things that Simpson refused to answer because it was based on confidentiality agreement with his client, and because it was a voluntary basis, we could not push the issue. So that's where it stands right now. To get to the bottom of the dossier, we're still waiting, I guess, for Robert Mueller, because he's got the power.
So the big news here is that this guy, Fusion GPS, who handed his dossier over to the FBI, did not verify anything in it. Nothing was verified. It was all based on rumors.
I guess it is a big deal, but that's what they always do.
Right.
They never have the facts to back it up. It's always based on rumors, and just like they're going after Roy Moore, it doesn't matter what they're doing politically. They throw stuff out there, see if it'll stick without any facts backing it up.
Right.
It's awful.
All right. So one more clip for you from Mr. Gorka here, who we love. Starting over.
You or I had put top secret SAP emails onto a private server. Do you think McCabe would have written emails detailing how our case was being specially handled by senior FBI agents, being shut away from the average procedures inside the Bureau? I don't think so. The question is, does having the last name Clinton mean that you get a pass.
Yes.
You get a pass on doing things
Every
that are
time.
illegal. That you have things such as serious investigations relabeled simply matters to deflate their significance. The decisions are made before the investigation is actually executed. So we have a problem. Don't get me wrong. I've worked with thousands of FBI agents and analysts, and they're fine patriots, and they're keeping this nation safe. But at the highest level of the Bureau, we have issues, and McCabe's behavior during his wife's political campaign as an FBI senior agent, actually on social media promoting his Democrat wife, his wife receiving hundreds of thousands of dollars. There are Hatch issues as well, which raise the question of just how impartial is McCabe.
So Clinton was given a special status. So yay.
Yay.
All right. How many of you would like a little update on Las Vegas?
I don't know if you guys have been doing your own research on this, but we do, and nothing has really come out that's like concrete exactly.
Right.
But there are other people, and Patriot Galler wanted me to encourage you guys that there are other people that are really going hard at breaking this down. They are not letting it go. And so the fight for the truth in this instance is not over.
So one of these channels, I don't know if you guys want to try to write it down, or maybe Michelle can try to drop it in there. It's HDR CFX Cornwall.
Okay.
HDR
I can
CFX
probably link to that
Cornwall.
video, actually.
He doesn't have a whole lot of subscribers, but Patriot Gallery was so impressed with his breakdown that she has written down for us times and notes. So we want to go over these with you guys right now.
Yes.
So let's see. At this point, many he says that the 22,000 figure referred probably to the number of total attendees.
Right.
And that when he looks at the number of people actually there, it was probably more like 7,000. Was more reasonable for a 3-day event. Sunday night, a lot of people went home already who were there for Friday and Saturday night.
Will says that Ben Sack is still going hard at it, as well as Scott at High Impact Flicks.
Yes. So he also says, here's going to show us what 7,000 people looks like.
There you go. That's 7,000 people. I hope you guys can see this. With the new camera, the TV is a little bit blurry. More so than it was.
So then he's going to try to show the area.
Well, those people were running.
More reasonable figure. Why does any of this matter? Because this is the view from Stephen Paddock's room. Okay. He does a really good job.
Yeah, this is amazing. This is, I mean, literally, it's a digital view. I felt it was important to make a model of this venue.
I also thought it was crucial to make an accurate model of Stephen Paddock's hotel room. And there are a lot of floor plans on there, and we're going to get to, I guess...
Well, but isn't there a picture of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
So this is the one he settled on.
No, there should be a digital one of it, a pattern.
It is not 100% accurate. But there is a video on YouTube taken by somebody who stayed there last year, and he gives you the video.
You don't need to hear what's going on in the background. It's just, this is just a visual shot of what the room would look like panoramically. So he took that and...
so he made it a model of the room.
Where is Paddock's autopsy report? That's what I want to know. So with the blueprint that he had and that panoramic that you just saw, the video shot, this is what he came up with, which I feel is...
The two adjoining rooms here.
Right. The first thing that he noticed...
the broken windows span 2 rooms.
Those are the windows in between, like 11 windows total.
So these are the broken windows.
Down here, right there, there's a bed in there. And then here's the chair, and then here's his dead body, and there's a bunch of guns right here.
And then room 134 with a queen bed.
The rooms do have an adjoining door.
Sheriff Lombardo says this door was explosively breached.
So we did an explosive breach on the first door, made entry, located the suspect who had committed suicide there, but we encountered a locked door adjacent to the main living area or living room area. You have a bedroom off to one side and the bedroom off on the other side. Well, the bedroom off on the one side where the window was broken facing the fuel tanks, the door had been secured. So we did another explosive breach.
Okay, so Stephen Paddock, lone gunman, rented 2 hotel rooms, broke a window in each room, and kept the door locked between the rooms, which required the adjoining door to be breached.
That's a question.
That's a question.
So we did an explosive breach on the first door, made entry, located the suspect who had committed suicide there, but we encountered a locked door adjacent to the main living area or living room area. You have a bedroom off to one side and the bedroom off on the other side. Well, the bedroom off on the one side where the window was broken facing the fuel tanks, the door had been secured. So we did another explosive breach.
So how did Paddock go from room to room if the adjoining door was secured? Did he secure it and lock it? What would have been the point of that before he shot himself? A lot of things don't make a lot of sense. And then he says, remember this photo.
Little typo there.
That we see here. Which is so far...
I was able to simulate this,
like one of the only photos that they've given us.
Eric wants to know, why are there not any reports, or where are any of the reports of witnesses reports, the latest witnesses that have died, families reports, police reports? And that's one of my biggest questions. Why haven't the people come
After
out?
this, there is no turning back.
He says, ever wonder what's
You take the
behind
blue
the
pill.
curtain here? So I guess he's talking about maybe, I'm not sure
The
which
curtain behind the chair, I think.
Yeah.
Is a broken window. So
that's weird. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, let it play. Like, why is there a curtain in
why is the
photo
chair there
and the
covering
curtain down after he's dead if he had been shooting out of that window?
That's just weird, you guys.
Is it play? Oh, there he goes. Okay.
Huh. So he put the curtain down and then put the chair in front of it so that nobody could see in?
Yes.
Hmm?
Question.
Who closed the curtains and why?
I want to know.
It's a good question. He carried 800 pounds of guns and ammo into his room. Set up cameras to observe the hallway. Secured multiple doors. Broke out 2 hurricane-proof storm windows. But could not be bothered to move this chair. It does not look like it has been moved much since last year.
So here's the... That was last year, the footage there. That he was...
it takes no expertise to do what he did. I agree with you. I agree with the people you talk to. It's anybody can walk into a gun store and say, "Hey, give me the newest, the coolest, and the baddest weapon." And whoever's standing behind the counter can provide you that. It doesn't mean you have the knowledge associated with it. But the situation that presented to him, in other words, you had a music venue, a concert venue, with several thousands of folks corralled basically by security fencing. It wasn't difficult to accomplish what he did.
So I know Otto was talking about bump stocks, and then Eric had said that everybody that he knows that are gun advocates say that the bump stock does not even work when you shoot it. Makes the gun go straight up. It's very hard to control. Otto says you can bump fire almost any semi-automatic as long as you have a belt loop and have figured out how to do it. So it couldn't have just been somebody off the street. He would have had to have figured out how to do it. Worth a Look makes a really good comment. They can't cover up anything these days, not like they could do over so many years earlier, because there is so much technology now that the everyday people have. Patriot Gallery.
The point of that was it was next to impossible. Every other shot had to hit somebody.
Yeah.
And the sheriff said, "Oh, it was so easy," and the guy wrote in there, "It was impossible."
Right. I think you fast forwarded through that, but it literally every other shot that he fired would have had to hit a person when you look at the rounds versus the ratio of the people that were hit.
Firing more than 1,000 rounds. So we see more than 1,000 rounds. Every bullet should be accounted for, right? Firing more than 1,000 rounds from 2 batched out windows. So let's do some simple maths. 1,200 rounds, 600 casualties. Every second bullet was on target. Guns fire 10 bullets per second, which means this noob was on target 5 times per second on full auto.
He's so good. What a great shot he is. And how come we're not hearing from these 500
over
people?
A distance of a quarter of a mile?
Are 600 people. Obviously, some of them are dead, but where are the rest of them? No one is speaking out. No one.
He says
in the shooting that we just had in Sutherland Springs, they've already got footage of people that were shot right away.
I agree with you. It wasn't difficult to accomplish what he did.
Cecilian Gal says, I haven't seen or heard of one funeral.
Right.
Where are
that
all
is
of
why
these
the 22,000 figure is important. What is the view like from the other room?
Robin had pointed out the theory that Saudi prince was there. Just to throw that out there for you guys. The Saudi prince came with the glasses.
I've heard some rumors that his entourage was there. Some Saudis were there before and after the shooting. Yeah. So,
there you go.
HDRCFX.
I put the link to this video in the description, and I dropped it in the chat a little while ago. I'm going to drop it there one more time.
So he does a lot of really cool animations, and I'm really appreciative of that.
Lisa says you can't shoot a fully auto rifle accurately either. You can just spray.
Right. So if there's 7,000, it's going to be a lot harder than 22,000 people.
Right.
You know.
Okay, so Otto says this, and this is a really good point because I forgot about this, and I want to correct something here. 600 people did not get shot. 59 were killed by gunfire. 38 were wounded by gunfire, and the rest were trampled.
Okay. Are you sure? I haven't heard that.
I haven't heard that figure, but I do know that not all of the wounds, obviously, were from gunshot. A lot of it was from being trampled.
Right.
So we can lower that figure a little bit. Very good point, Otto. Bob Homestead said nobody died, nobody got hurt. It was fake. I think that it did really happen. I think that there were
one of our viewers actually has his sons were supposed to go, and their friends went. So
right, and one of them got shot.
Yeah, so it did happen. People got shot. People did die.
Right.
But we are missing a lot of the other people. Like, where are the people?
Exactly. Where are the rest of those people? Now, here's the thing y'all need to know about country music concert goers. They are a little bit redneck. Yeah. Okay, now redneck people are a little bit cray-cray.
Yeah.
So you have to know that if they had been shot, a lot of them are going to want the attention.
Right.
So the question is, how many people actually did get shot? How many people actually were killed?
Right.
That's the question.
And we haven't heard anything come out of it. I think that's the big deal. Like, why isn't anybody talking about? What about Jesus Campos?
I mean, if they're in a hospital, they probably had to sign non-disclosures. FBI
Right.
probably went through all the hospitals and made them shut up.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. They probably did censor anyone that actually had a real injury.
Right. I think we're gonna sign off here.
Did we cover everything?
Yeah. I was gonna talk to you about some craziness going on in China, some censorship there. Steve Bannon our president just got back from China and his Asian tour. We haven't talked much about that. But when we're talking about like the Facebook censorship, it's very much like communist China, what's happening here right now. And Bannon has come out.
You have Fusion GBS in the title.
We covered that.
We did. Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
Over 1,000 rounds and not one bullet hole was found. They actually did find, what's the name of the guy that went there? And Mom, you watch him all the time.
Steve Bisnack?
It's Binsack, but no. The other guy that took the little girl, the blonde, around afterwards. Mom knows his name. Anyway, he had George Webb on the other day. Anyhow, he went and there were bullet holes in some of the pylons that were out there. So we did get to see that on his channel. I don't remember.
So we're talking about censorship. We have to see that we're moving into a fascist, communist, Nazism mindset, which actually does happen today. Like, and if you're in a communist,
Jason Goodman,
thank you.
Awesome. If you're in communist China, you can kind of be a Christian, but they really shut you down. They literally say in their party's platform that you can't be in their main party if you aren't an atheist, and you have to believe in. It says this is one of the guys in their main party. They're trying to shut down anybody outside of their way of thinking. They don't believe in democracy there.
Right.
They don't believe in separation of powers.
No.
Their whole goal is just one guy, power to the people through one guy just controlling everything. And if you read about Chairman Mao, that was his vision, that he controlled everything.
Although there still is a not just a class system, but there is that
it's corruption.
No, what I'm saying is it's supposed to be communist, but it's not. There are always the bigger fish in the pond.
Corruption.
And so that's how it keeps perpetuating.
Right.
But all socialist progressive governments call themselves a democracy. They call it that.
Right.
And they call themselves a Republic of China.
Right. So this is in a column that appeared in the Chinese edition of Thursday's People's Daily. Get that?
Cast. Thank you.
The official publication of the CPA said this: as a Marxist political party, our party has always regarded political standards as the primary criteria for selecting and employing people. All communist officials must be red and professionals. They have to be communists.
Right.
They have to be. Needless to say, a certain time ago, the phenomenon of ignoring politics and weakening politics has become more prominent in the party, meaning people are trying to break out of the mold.
Right.
Okay. We have
but it's highly encouraged.
We have to put the party in the highest position of our hearts.
Above, because they don't have like a God, they don't have
or
the faith.
Family.
Exactly.
Some don't believe in Marx and Lenin, but believe in ghosts and gods, even though Marx is a ghost, and you have created him into a god. They don't believe in ideals, but believe in sorcery. They don't respect the people, but do respect masters. He says he identifies separation of powers as a particular wrong idea that has threatened the vibrancy of communism. They have to be able to control you as one big moving hive mentality. This is Star Trek, you guys.
The Borg. I think We Are Borg was here earlier.
We are the Borg. You will be assimilated. That is communism. And I don't know if you guys heard about this or not, but people who had Jesus pictures in their homes were told that they had to remove the picture of Jesus and put up Xi, Xi, whoever their president, in their home. Now they might be able to, if they want to, keep a picture of Jesus in their bedrooms, but if the main spot, you have to have a picture of the president mainly in your home. You can't have Jesus in your living room.
Wow.
Xi Jinping also cracked down heavily on most religions, particularly Christianity, a certain kind of Islam, and Tibetan Buddhism. The Communist Party has always been a strictly atheist organization in China and elsewhere, and the party members are not allowed to hold religious beliefs. Yi has implemented significant updates on the laws of religion, however, meant to contain any thought or faith that could inhibit zealous loyalty to Yi. And I got this book on Chairman Mao, and I've been reading it, and it's just I get the sense of who Chairman Mao was. It was the idea of, I am just going to control everybody, but he did it in such a way that caused a massive amount of destruction of personal property. He would take, at times he was taking down people's homes. He just would go in and take down entire villages. He would use the wood from the homes.
Very, I mean, again, we go back to the whole slavery thing. It's inhuman to be able to do that. You have to be a monster.
Exactly. And he would do these huge projects where they literally would be like shovels and hammers and sledgehammers and moving rocks all day. It's just insane for his water diversion programs. But he literally caused intense drought and hunger and famine and destruction of these people's homes. That is slavery.
Yes.
Yes. Exactly. And it's just absolutely insane. And so I wanted to bring that to light in the light of everything that we are covering today. Slavery is happening today. Communism. The reason why America is the greatest country in the world ever is because our founding principles were founded on the idea of a government of the people, by the people, for the people.
Correct.
But the only way you can do that is through the power of God.
Right.
The only way you can do that is if you don't have the weird corruption that you have in communist countries where you're backbiting each other and you're selling out your family for a piece of bread or for a job. Christians prefer one another. They love each other as themselves. Husbands love their wives as Christ loved the church. Children honor their parents.
See, I don't have a problem being touched.
Okay.
She does.
So you have this American experiment.
The phrase "a republic if you can keep it" comes to mind. But also, from my study in the founding documents, the founding fathers were constantly afraid
that we would lose
that we would lose it because they understood that power corrupts.
Yeah,
and
money absolute power corrupts absolutely.
And they realized that the only way that they could keep this vision was through a moral and godly people and leadership.
Which is why in the Constitution they have in there the death penalty for forging, counterfeiting money. The death penalty. The death penalty for counterfeiting money, because even in the Bible, God said that you have to use just weights and balances because it's akin to murdering someone.
Right.
If you are stealing from them and you dilute the money.
Right.
If you take $50 from somebody, right, and then you take that and you photocopy it and print out thousands and thousands of dollars, you have diluted their $50. And this is what is happening with that being not. That's why we always talk about having to get back to gold and silver, because as long as we have fake money, that's the only way we can have slavery. That's the only way we can have these, big
this
Chinese
is really
factories.
Great news, though, because if it's punishable by death, which I knew that, but I'm putting two and two together here, then that means that everybody at the Fed
has to die. Seriously, it's in the Constitution. Yeah.
Like death by spitball.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
All right, are we going to Bannon? We have to
No, we're done.
All right. Okay, so before we wrap up, I have not thanked our moderators in quite a while, and I'm really sorry about that. Will was here, Gary, Worth a Look, Maia, I'm trying to think if anybody else showed up. I don't think anybody else was here tonight, but I know you guys have been on it, so thank you for being on top of it. When we sign off here, there were a lot of amazing comments tonight. I read them as they went through. I couldn't cover them all, and I'm really disappointed about that. Please, when the video processes, put your comments in the comment section so everybody else just grab it, copy it, copy all of them. I don't care. Put them all up there. Also, I think that the comments help the algorithms. So that's not why I asked you guys to comment. But if you do want our videos to get out there, the more comments, the better. So we want to hear from you guys. We try to go through and read every single comment. Subscribe to both of our channels, Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks, in case we get shut down. We've got a lot of new viewers that came from InfoWars. They went to Resistance Chicks. I've told them to come to both. Same thing goes. InfoWars viewers, if you're at Mass Faith 3, also subscribe to our Resistance Chicks channel.
In case one gets shut down.
Exactly. We just covered censorship tonight. We've been censored before and shut down on our Resistance Chicks channel. We have a P.O. Box, 107, Milford, Ohio, 45150. You can address it to Resistance Chicks. We will read your letters on air.
And Blogger, we have 2 new blogs up.
We have 2 new blogs up on Resistance Chicks. I think that's, what is that, blogspot.com/Resistance Chicks, something like that.
And Isaiah 58 Ministries.
Find us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Do I have anything else? Oh, Maia's products. Always go. Christmas is coming up. You guys want to buy all kinds of good, healthy products for your family for Christmas. Am I missing? Oh, tomorrow night. We go live every Friday and Sunday.
We might be there a little early. We don't want to make any promises.
Right. We're going to try to be there early. We may not because we are going to
leave
go out
exactly
for
at 7.
Yeah, a dinner with a friend. So we'll either go live from 6 to 7 or 5:30 to 7. You just have to be ready.
I said it'll be 4:45.
5:45. You mean?
5:45.
Yeah. So on Sunday we go live at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That will be regular this Sunday. I wish I had other... I
don't know why these are in the...
I don't know why these are in the China hutch.
That's
good.
This would have been much better for the Saudi Arabia.
No, that's way better. You just made a mustache.
Yes.
An orange one.
I am. Ta-da.
Wow.
They take all my billions of dollars. It's okay. I stole them anyway.
It's not a Cheeto, Will. It's a mustache. Old school stash says
we should make a rap. A Saudi Arabian rap.
I'm ready. You start.
I don't know. I don't. Back in the 70s, we made a deal with the United States government for oiled fields. We took your money and we took it and we gave you oil, and now all our people are really spoiled because they don't have to work for all the United States coin we have. I don't know. We don't give women very much rights. We always are there for a Middle East fight. The women can't drive, but hey, they're still alive.
Wow.
We give them food and water, and we like to marry our daughters.
Wow.
That is my Saudi Arabian rap. Okay.
That is fantastic.
Signing off from Saudi Arabia.
Can we get a holla for the petrodollar? That's all I got. That's literally all that I have. MC Leah and Faith Force. I like that, Otto. Very good. Indian accent, Cheeto face.
It's close enough. Pakistan's next to India.
So that's your song for tonight. Sometimes it's a hymn. Sometimes it's a Saudi rap by Leah bin Talala.
We aren't anti-Muslim. We just want people to love someone today.
Wow. Okay.
Be nice. Think twice before you beat your wives. Yeah. Homie. Homie, don't beat that wife. Don't be a player. Don't marry 4 wives. Put away the knives.
Wow. Don't be a player, be a Saudi congratulator. All right, no, we're really going now with your Cheeto mustache. Thank you guys for being here.
Yo.
I want to do a shout out. Last night I got a shout out from the American brand. I'm going to give a shout out back to him. You guys need to go subscribe to his channel. Again, go to Say Perfect, Cypher News, Worth a Look. Y'all know them all. We love you guys. Yo.
I'm lying beneath the soil. I'll be back, but I'm coming as oil.
You cannot use
that
Mrs.
is from
Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
You cannot.
Talking about the dinosaurs.
Okay, no, I'm really signing you off now. I have the power. Look at yourself. Hang on.
I liked being the Saudi prince. I'm pretending to be a billionaire.
I can't even. I just cannot.
It's my new favorite character.
Oh, yeah, that's good. We can bring him back.
Ew. I want
Your
to bring him
character.
back. Please, Sally, do more things. Driving Miss Daisy.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys.
We're letting the women drive. So they
Stop
can
it.
be driving
We are-
Miss Daisy with Morgan Freeman.
Was that Morgan Freeman?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Oh, yes. I know my driving.
We're leaving now for real with you. That is the cutest. That's so adorable.
It doesn't stay.
Maybe we can make that happen. All right, no,
Yes.
we're really going. All right, so we'll see you guys tomorrow night, 5:30 or 5:45 or 6. We're not sure. It'll be one of those times. What's your face? I can't even. Okay.
I love being
I'm really cutting you off now. You're getting cut off. We have to go eat anyway.
I'll put on a new thing for Thoughty Prince tomorrow. We will get out our checkered picnic tablecloths.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I actually have more of that.
It will be
fabric.
so much better
I have
tomorrow.
I have enough that I can
We'll
put
put
on.
ropes. Will be awesome.
Yeah.
If Saudi Arabia is in those tomorrow.
Will says he's sending pipe cleaners for Christmas. Wow. All right. No.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Do I get to go stay in the Ritz-Carlton?
No.
It'll be fun.
You can sleep on the floor in your squishy mat.
But then I'm
Like a
at
prisoner.
least in the Ritz-Carlton, you know?